Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and I've been filming lots of videos today. This is my last, so maybe I'll just kind of let my hair down, take these earrings off, and people always ask me about these. If you want to get them, you can get them online in this little shop called Shop in Budapest. I'll have to drop the link if someone asks me that question. But yeah, so the last thing that I want to talk about is gender construction because we are the gender constructors. Society, or we say gender is a construct. You've heard that a million times, haven't you? Or like trans women are women, or like I didn't choose to be political, but being trans, I am political. All that stuff. I've spent a lot of time speaking at protests recently, so I'm giving you the protest jargon. And yes, I agree with all these things. However, or is it however? The thing that I want to talk about is our relationship with constructing gender, how we embody it, how we become it, how we be it, and also if we're chasing it, and are we getting there? These are longer videos that we do deep dives on these topics. So if you're feeling like browsing around, just do me a favor, give a like, add this to your watch later when you're ready to sit down and sink into something. And here we go. Let's do this. So gender construction. Okay, let's start with the question. Are you actively constructing your gender? Are you pursuing a gender construction that you are trying to emulate? Or are you just being the version of your gender and just allowing that to express itself organically? Where are you on the spectrum? That's sort of like chasing a construct, constructing a construct, and then just being the construct itself. And the being part is probably the more interesting one, because you go, well, what's the difference between being and creating? And I think the difference there is when you're creating, you're thinking of things. You're saying, okay, like this and this and this, maybe that's how I'm going to do it. I think you find that a lot more with non-binary and gender fluid people, because there's a continuous breaking down and rearticulation of what gender is, asking a lot of questions and seeing how you can play with what gender norms are and what is constructed in the world to then reattribute certain items and certain ways of expressing gender, especially through clothes and appearance and body hair, that can help you change the narrative in what the gender construct is, or reconstruct a new way of seeing gender. So that's like an active form. And I find that to be the most exhausting, because there's a lot of work that you have to do. It becomes kind of like a thing. You wake up and you go, I can't just put something on because I need to like work with how I'm constructing this. The being state, I would say, is more like you just are what you are. You express it in how you express it, and you've learned how to embody and just be what you are. I am somewhere in the being phase. I spent earlier in my transition, and I don't know where you are right now in your transition. Are you earlier in this, like figuring out where you want to be in terms of your gender? Or are you so far developed that you just already are in the being bucket? In my earlier stages of a transition, and I think this is typical for most trans people that are early in their stages. And by the way, if you are early in your stage, I have a book for you. Hit that link down below. It's currently free, but I will start charging soon because I want people to actually use it. You have to kind of start pursuing, or at least playing with the constructors, the constructs of what that gender is. And then you have to kind of feel it out to see what works for you. Such a typical experience for trans women. You put on makeup, you put on a dress, and boom, suddenly gender dysphoria, and you're like, oh, I like this. This is nice. Like, this is great. Like, how's that experience been for you? I love it. But like, at some point, it kind of wears off a little bit, and you realize, okay, is this it? Is this me? This is just all I'm gonna do? I see like early trans women kind of like sticking to trans women gender memes, especially like the thigh highs. That's like a thing that every trans woman seems to like get, because the euphoria is very strong. And that's something I definitely did. But more recently, I've been kind of like going more to the knee highs. And that to me has been my own way of reconstructing my own gender expression, because the thigh highs kind of more sexualize your thighs, and I think the knee highs kind of make me more feel like a superhero, like an anime superhero girl from school or something. And so I guess I am also playing as a constructor in co-creating and constructing a new way of expressing myself as a trans woman, which I feel like, I don't know, for you, what does it feel like? Do you feel like you're just constructing your look and your appearance and your experience as a woman or as a trans woman? This is probably another division line. I don't try to dress and appear as a cis woman. I also don't try to appear and dress as a trans woman, but I understand that both of these parts of my identity and experience and how they occupy space and how they exist within the social construct and how I find ways to express these makes it, how do I put it? Gives me sort of this space where I have to kind of form my own look and my own identity and what feels right to me. And I don't know if you've seen this photo of me when I spoke at the Trans Pride Parade like a couple weeks ago, but I kind of look like a superhero in my opinion. I don't know what like, can I pull this up really quickly? Boop-a-doop. No, that's my old face. Okay, well, it looks like I'm just having a hard time pulling this up. So, oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so, I mean, who doesn't like a trans superhero? Like, girl, like, I'm killing it, right? And I'm wearing knee-high socks. And so I don't know how much of a meme I am here. Like, I'm wearing things that obviously show off my body because I feel like I have a great body to show off. And though I don't tuck, and that's something that's probably worth another video. But I kind of like, I just want to embody my own power. I just want to be however I want to be, and this is how I show myself off. And that's kind of the coming back to the being state of your gender. And I think this is the most powerful place to be. When you've built enough habits of your own gender that you want to align with, that it's no longer feeling like a performance. It feels like you've nailed within you the part of you that it feels authentic. Like, where is that within you where you feel like it's you that is coming out? You're feeling like this is you. There's no hiding. There's no extra layers to it. There's no shape-shifting masks. It's just you. That feeling to me is the most important way of expressing one's gender, when it's you in your purest form. And the funny thing that I realize when I say that is you in your purest form is not static either. You're not always in your most hyper feminine or your hyper masculine state. You're sometimes somewhere in between, just depending on where your head's at, right? Like, have you had those days where you're like, oh my God, I feel so unattractive because I'm just like, bleh. And then other days you feel on top of the world because you're expressing yourself in a way that feels so good. For me as a trans woman, sometimes I just have days where I forget my gender, or I just feel so masculine. And then other days I feel way more feminine. And that can be dependent on who I'm hanging out with and what my experience is, how I'm dressed up and all that. But like, I could wear this and continue doing my work, and I get a little kick of gender euphoria, but I mean, I am what I am, you know, I'm just being that. And 3.5 years in, I'm not sure if I'm still pursuing new ways of constructing my femininity, or if I'm just practicing being my femininity and letting that unfold naturally as I need to be and as I want. What's your take on this? What's your stance on how you've evolved and how you've moved to where you are now in expressing and feeling authentic in who you are? I'd love to hear from you, and please support me on Patreon if you get value out of this and you want to become a member and join my live Q&A workshop, my workshops. I have meditation workshops, and I also have a book which you can get and download. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you in another episode. Bye.